prepared for something, and something which was not very pleasant, and try to understand the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a way that it should apply to his other sons, but to Yishmael. But competition.
Yes.
And this idea, I think, he knew that what was wanted. And he knew, you can see from the whole discussion that he knew that we were after Yitzchak, but he was still hoping that it would be the other son. And he says, Shmuel says, now, and wie soll schon es mehr, was Essen ist, nach aber Juda und ich es war Chele, ist neu, wie können das Balach Hashem nishman beim Avrom, וים הנני וים תשלח יושך לדעת הסלומה. On that, you have an interesting Rashi. כי עתו יודעתי, אומר אבא, אומר לו אברום, פרש לפניך אסיחוסי. He said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I must tell you what's on my heart. אשמל אמרת לי כך, כי ביצחק יקראו לך זרע. וחזרת ואמרת, כך נורס פנחו. עכשיו אומר לי, תשלח יושך לנער. אומר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, לא יחלל בריסי, ובאיזשהו של אשנה, כשאמרתי לך כך, מה שצריך לאשנה, ואמרתי לך, שוחטהו, אלא הלהו, השיקי achse. Just put him on the Mizbeach. כי עתו יודעתי, יש רש"י, יש לי בעל אוסף לסוטון, מה היא חיבושי אצלךו. I want the world to know why I have such a love because they will see Shiraim Kiyira Ato. אברום, איפה שבדרך של חוסי, אשמל אמרתי לי, כי ביצר יכול סרע. וזאתו אמרתו, כך לא אסבינכו. עכשיו אתה אמר לי, אל תשלח יוזר לנער. These are all the contradictory statements. לא הקדוש ברוך הוא, לא יחלל בריסי, מוסו של אשנה. כשאמרתי לו כך, מויצה ספוסה לא ישנה. לא אמרתי לו שוחטהו. I didn't say שוחטהו, אלא הלהו. אז סקטי achose. Put him on the Mizbeach. So it seems to be the most extraordinary thing. The Kodesh Baruch Hu tells him that you're not medactic in what I said. I said, put him on the Mizbeach. That's all I said. Put him on the Mizbeach. I didn't say slaughter him. I didn't say shochteo. So what's this message here? The message is a very interesting one, a very important one, because it goes to the very thing that we, I don't know what right I have to include myself, but in my good days, we, the Koile, I mean, we are oisik b'divrei Torah. But here, it seems to me that what is complaining about is an or Kodesh Baruch Hu is complaining about the interpretation of a word. I only said to you, Haleu Lo'ila. You decided that you want to do a shrita. That is wrong. That is immoral. Take him down from the Mizbeach. I wanted to. What is the important lesson then that you take home from this? You take home a most important moral lesson. And that is that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says something, when the Torah says something, it was the duty of the Gedolei Hador to interpret what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. To interpret, and when you interpret, if it is something which your seichel tells you that is the right thing to do, you can interpret widely. When the Torah says, you can say all sorts of things. So give a bad AIDS, because you know what you're being asked to do. When you come to being asked to do something which seems not moral, you have to be very medactic in the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What the words of the HaKadosh, because you have no right to interpret it widely. You have to interpret in a way which is the way of the Torah, rachamim, morality, do the right thing. That's how the Torah works, and that is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham. But I didn't say shechtim. When you were told to do this, you were told, but Haleu Lo'ila. Haleu Lo'ila is not something entirely meaningless. Chaim says that gives kedusha to the so it is something, And that's the interpretation. When we have the possibility of interpreting the words of the Shmochu in a way that it is matim and in keeping with the moral principles of the Torah, then then that's your duty to interpret that way. But otherwise, you do the absolute minimum. Put him up on the Mizbeach. But don't do more than that, because this is something which is not encouraged during tradition. Well, there wasn't much tradition, Jewish tradition before Abraham, so it wasn't. It's not in keeping with the So he knew what the principles of the Torah are. And this is not in accordance with the principles of the Torah. So he said, "Did I say to you, shech your son?" I didn't say shech your son. Your interpretation has to be, you have to do the words that I said. That's not more than that. And in this case, you should have put him on the Mizbeach, but you had no business to want to shacht him. That's a very fundamental moral principle which makes the Akedah into a very fundamental occasion for Am Yisrael. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says something, try and interpret it, something which you understand. You understand it. Like if the Ibn says a Mishra, interpret it as widely as you can, because you understand it, you understand what is required. When he says to you, when the HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to you, "Ben Soiro Moira,"
the minimum.
minimum, absolute the minimum. Because
That's ein lechaboya lechidushay.
how can you interpret something which you can't understand? It's against the normal principles of the Torah. Interpret it. Never. And that is what that was the lesson of the Akedah. The lesson of the Akedah was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Baruch Rachamim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is concerned about his prayers. And you should have understood and interpreted accordingly. And that is, I understand, the whole principle of the Akedah, which we take home. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Rachum v'Chanun. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Toiv Hashem L'Koil. And as we learned from our Chusav was Koil, everything has to be accepted with simcha, because when God sends us and challenges us, we have to. This has to be done with simcha, and that is the lesson you are to take home from the Akedah.
Shkoyach. This is when
Shkoyach.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
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 Where's the Koil?
I have one disagreement with you, though.
have one disagreement with God.